Welcome to BamfordRose and another question of the week. In this week's question of the week, we look at whether an Aston Martin V8 Vantage Prodrive edition is worth any premium compared to an N400 or any other special edition. So if you weren't aware, out there in the marketplace is the lesser spotted Prodrive modified V8 Vantage. When the 4.3 V8 Vantage came out, Prodrive was Aston Martin's racing partner. This was well before the brand AMR really existed. And they used to race the DB9 in series like Le Mans. And this was well before a 4.7 V8 came out. So Prodrive were doing a modification to the 4.3 V8 Vantage around about 2006 to probably about 2007, 2008. It didn't last very long, and let's have a look at some of the reasons why. The Prodrive modification consisted of several parts. Now, you could either buy the complete kit in total, which costed an eye-watering £19,000, or you could have individual elements of the kit. So let's go through each element of the kit. So for the engine, they claimed they upped horsepower by 45 by an ECU remap and a high flow secondary cap. Now, the aftermarket world in Aston Martin has been doing this for a number of years. There are many companies selling that sort of package, and typically 20 to 30 bhp is what they claim for that upgrade. So Prodrive's 45 bhp, is it difficult to imagine exactly where that extra 20 horsepower comes from? It must be in there somewhere. Now, the engine power upgrade was the basis of the kit, and that started at £6,000. The aftermarket world in Aston Martin is retailing high flow cats and ECU remap for about £1,500 to £2,000 these days. So that was quite a lot of money for not a lot of horsepower. Then there was a suspension improvement. This was a completely new damper. It was a Bilstein electromagnetic damper, but this was in the early days of Bilstein when they were doing adaptive damping solutions and wasn't as sophisticated or as well controlled as today's electromagnetic dampers are. There was an uprated eye-back spring and the adaptive damping solution, which sounds quite reasonable now, was £5,500. Then there was the option of Prodrive's lightweight wheels. Now, I think these wheels look absolutely beautiful. They're without doubt the best part of this kit. When you see a car in the flesh that's got these rims fitted, it really stands out as looking really rather well. Coming in at £4,000, I think are actually quite good value. And then there was some stick-on carbon splitters and a carbon rear lip, as you can see in the pictures here. The aftermarket world is awash of carbon bolt-on parts these days, and even the factory's kit retrofitting the later level bumpers with the carbon fibre splitters is arguably a better option than the Prodrive front and rear lip. Pretty costly as well, which is probably why you don't see many of them. It was £3,000 for that part of the kit. So with the engine at 6k, dampers at 5.5k, lightweight wheels at 4k, and the carbon for 3k, that just about gets you up to your £19,000. Now, I have read somewhere, although it's not come from an official source, that the amount of cars that took the full kit you could count on one hand. I don't know how many cars took individual pieces of the kit, but I should imagine it was less than 100. That's a tiny footprint in the aftermarket modification world, yet they have their own Wikipedia page for this upgrade, compared to companies like ourselves where upgraded cars will literally be in the hundreds, if not approaching thousands. So that's what the kit is. Now on to, is it actually worth it? Do you get a better driving car for that spend and that hardware? Well, if you were to take any aftermarket high flow catalyst and ECU remap for about 1,500 quid, you're going to get exactly the same performance improvement that Prodrive get with their kit. There's no secret sauce. They're not doing anything different than what anyone else is doing. And typically, companies claim that a high flow cat and an ECU remap is between 20 and 30 brake horsepower improvement. Vantage S dampers retrofitted to the earlier cars, supplied and fitted, probably comes in for something like £5,500–6,000. If you wanted some aftermarket carbon for the front lip and rear boot lid, you could probably get that yourself for £1,000 these days. And there's a pick of newer Aston design wheels which you could retrofit to your car. So instead of going an aftermarket wheel, you can pick any one of the very nice wheels in the Aston Martin range. Probably pick up a nice wheel set for a couple of grand. So if you were to sort of mimic the Prodrive upgrade kit there, you'd certainly get it for less than £10,000 all up. But those Vantage S dampers retrofitted to the older Vantage will actually drive for comfort, for cabin composure, and for handling a heck of a lot better than the very early Bilstein adaptive dampers fitted in the Prodrive kit. The Prodrive kit is quite harsh, quite jittery, you feel every bump, and the Vantage S just soaks up those bumps much better than the Prodrive dampers. I think the Vantage S road car damper has got a better compromise of ultimate handling trade-off for comfort. So we've already established that the engine power upgrade kit, that the Prodrive car is no different than any other kit in the aftermarket world. Retrofitting Vantage S dampers gives you actually a better handling car than the dampers on the Prodrive car. And the cosmetics, wheels and carbon can be easily replicated. So in tangible terms, there's no driving dynamic improvement or anything better going on with the Prodrive car compared to any other car that's had a few upgrades fitted to it, or something like an N400 that came with the power upgrade kit, which gave it 380 to 400 horsepower improvement, and sports pack dampers on that M400 option. So should you pay a premium for one if you see one for sale? Well, no doubt buyers of the Vantage, if they were like first owner, they bought it originally in 2005 and then they went to Prodrive for the upgrade kit. And if they had, £10,000 worth of upgrade or the whole £19,000, then I'm sure they're very happy with their car. And that's absolutely fine. But should you, as a future buyer of that car, pay a premium for it? Well, I don't think so. It was well before the days of the AMR brand, so it can't share any parallels and enjoy the same halo effect that the AMR Vantage or AMR V12 Vantage would get. This is branded a Prodrive car. And very few people know who Prodrive are, whereas because of F1, then lots of people know what AMR is. The last time I saw one for sale, it was up at 50k. The lower end of the V8 Vantage window is about 30k, with the upper end crossover point to a 4.7 at something like 40 or 42k. Now at 50k, you could just about squeeze yourself into a V8 Vantage S. So you've got 7-speed paddle shift, you've got the Bilstein dampers and all of the extra refinements, interior improvements and everything that comes with a Vantage S. Meaning that the Vantage S would be the better buy rather than the 4.3 with the Prodrive upgrade package. So for me, the Prodrive branding doesn't carry enough kudos or heritage to make the car worth more in the used market now, many years later. And the improvements on driving dynamics and performance can be bettered by fitting other equipment. So on both counts, paying a premium for the Prodrive modified V8 Vantage doesn't really make sense, apart from a car that's got those wheels fitted because they are beautiful. What's your thoughts on the Prodrive modified Aston Martin V8 Vantage? Leave your comments below, click us a like. As always, really helps us if you can subscribe to our channel, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next question of the week.